Yo, 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 yo. This is your main man, MC Airwarhead, and I'm back with a fucking video. Today's video is going to be a short-ish review on a one-shot by Tatsuki Fujimoto, the writer of Fire Punch, Chainsaw Man, and another one-shot, Look Back. I believe he did one other one-shot before. I think I was supposed to tie into Chainsaw Man Part 2, but I don't know about that. This is going to be a review on Goodbye, Eri. A dark and chilling manga one-shot about death and filmmaking. Starts out with the protagonist, Yuta Ito, who's capturing recordings of his family on his smartphone. And his mother was dying. And his mother would want him to record her death, or record her life until her dying breath. And he would do that until the day she actually died. And he ran away from it. He did not go to the hospital. In the opening pages of that, shows him running away, then the hospital explodes. And this was a movie Yuta had made using the footage she had captured. The movie was called, damn, I forgot what was it? Explosion Death Hospital? I forgot what it was called. But the movie gets ragged on by other students. He's accosted by a teacher who pretty much starts to beat the shit out of him. And after he's pretty much just berated and scolded for even making his film, pretty much just disrespecting his mother, his memories and all that. Like, why would you do that? Yuta contemplates suicide. He makes his little goodbye video. He tells him, hey, if you watch this video, I'm already dead. Dad, don't worry, don't feel sad. Show everybody this video because he wanted to make them feel like shit for making a mockery of his film. So he goes to the top of the hospital where his mother dies. And he's about ready to jump off. He meets a girl named Eri who stops him from committing suicide. They go to this little abandoned building and she sits there and they start watching movies together. Now, this whole point of all this is so that Eri could get Yuta to make an even better movie. So this manga goes through all the processes of him watching movies, coming up with a fucking story for his new movie. And after struggling to come up with this movie, with an idea for a movie, he decides to run it back. You know, he takes the movie he made before, and he wanted to pretty much just revamp it, make it into another movie. And now the movie is about him recording his life with vampire girl Eri up to her last moments. That happens. Everybody cries being in a movie. I want to say that the ending of the manga is kind of vague in a sense. I'll get by these people first. So the ending of this manga is a little vague. Most for the first part. And it does a good job of its little vagueness because the entirety of this manga is told from a first person perspective. And not just from a first person perspective, but from the perspective of a person that is recording a movie. So it immediately places the reader in the shoes of Yuta Ito, the protagonist of the story. So, while you're reading a manga about this kid's life and his recordings, I think the manga does a good job of blurring reality into this little fantasy that he was making. There was like a part of the manga that I thought was really cool, in that Yuta was trying to find something that was missing from his works. That was going to work. And his dad was like, "You always had to think about movies. And you've always sprinkled some fantasy in like real life." He had drew a picture of his dad with a dragon's face. He was talking to the giraffe at the zoo. Some type shit. So you can kind of read this manga and just think of it of a blurring of reality mixed with fantasy. The fantasy elements being that Eri was a vampire. In reality, they're just recording a movie. So I can say that the ending of this one shot can be up to your own interpretation. At the end of the manga, we flash back some time. Yuta had a daughter. He's got a wife. He quit making movies. He's got a job and everything. He was involved in an accident. His whole family's dead, except for him. Goes back to the abandoned warehouse to kill himself. He sees Eri, the vampire. She pretty much tells him that, "Yep, I've been a vampire this whole time. I don't have a brain anymore. My memories are gone. But yep, still me." There's a whole note about how she would live and all that. Pretty much makes the same proclamation. Sit here with me. Watch movies. And Yuta says, "Nah, I'm good." Walks out. Blows the place up. And that was the end. Well, how I interpret it is this is the end of the movie the kid Yuta was making. The older Yuta, I feel, was being played by his father. And there's a lot of other nuances into this manga, but then I won't go into details. It's a pretty long read. It's 200 pages long. But essentially, this is Tatsuki Fujimoto. Again, at his best. He's always writing witty works. Stuff you would be surprised even got in the Shonen Jump. And I think this was another splendid little short story. The man is penned. I think Goodbye Eri was a good work. In fact, I can relate to the movie a lot because it reminded me of story time. Back when I was 16. No. What's that? I was out of high school. My cousin has been dealing with leukemia for a long time since. Me and my brother had spent most of our time with our cousin. I actually saw that kid as like another brother. He was always in some shit. Always getting into shit. Times was fun. He succumbed to the cancer. And I was never able to actually see him during his final moments. I keep a photo with him. I keep a photo with me at all times.
that he's always there with me. My experiences, as I live my life, as I overcome my struggles, and I would think, I want to make this kid proud. If he was here right now, he would be telling me how much of a fuck up I was being. If he was ever there to see me just struggling, dealing with things, I've been dealing with them. It's also a symbol of my regret. And Utah's making his film is a symbol of his own regret at not seeing his mother in her last moments. Even though his father showed him those moments, and his mother really did just think very little of him. And I often wonder, what did my cousin Joseph think of me when I did not show up that day? Because I could not stomach just sitting there and watching the light fade from his eyes. I always wondered if he was like disappointed and shit. It was a manga I did not really think I was gonna relate to. I thought it was just gonna be one of Fujimoto's little fucked up works, because the shit is like, that shit is always dark and introspective. I wouldn't say dark. I'm not gonna say dark. I find his writings to be rather melancholy. There's an air of sadness in it. Fire Punch had his melancholy in it. Chainsaw Man, for a series called Chainsaw Man, with a character like Denji, is a really melancholic story. Look Back was melancholy. Goodbye Eri was also melancholy. I want to interpret it as if all the main players in this, Yuta, his dad, and Eri, and all of them were just all good. And that this entire little manga was just a man's movie. Just a man's movie. And that's how I'm going to look at it. And since this is how I'm going to interpret it, I'm really going to say that I think this one shot was a success. I would give it a perfect score. I'd call it a perfect score. I didn't really see any flaws in there. For 200 pages, it's a fast-paced read. You can read it fairly fast. I wouldn't recommend reading it fairly fast because you would probably miss some details. Since we are talking about a manga that blurs fantasy and reality via the lens of a camera. So I still think it's a good manga. You should read it. It's on Manga Plus. You can read it for free. I think his other one shot is on there for free. A lot of manga are being released for free to read. Certain series, like most recent series, have their they don't have the full licenses to it, so they can only show you certain chapters up to a point, and those chapters aren't available anymore. So I recommend using Manga Plus if you want to read all your Shonen Jump stuff for free. Free Manga Plus. I would say it's a better option between Viz, as eventually you won't even have to pay for these. But we're about to hit home, so it's been an Arrowhead experience. Catch you later. I gotta go draw some shit on my own.